Hi. How are you?
Hi.
I've got a question. Today, around at least 4 or 5 times, you've mentioned the gut.
That's usually where you most likely interpret your emotional center. That's usually where you feel your emotion first and strongest.
Why is that?
Why does your nose smell? It's a nose. It does not need to be more complicated than that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Much of what you are can be felt there. Let's just call it a convergence point.
Okay. I seem to block it. I seem to block that center sometimes.
So you don't feel? Don't worry, it'll get bigger, and eventually you will feel it.
I definitely feel it. I definitely feel a lot.
So the key is to catch it at earlier subtle stages, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just by being aware. And don't make the statement, I block. Make a different statement. I'm aware. Because you are.
Very.
Say again?
I'm very aware. And
well, how can you be aware and block that at the same time?
well, that's the resistance.
Are you saying you have resistance and so you feel it? So you're not blocking your awareness of your emotions. You're projecting your thoughts in ways that create a lot of emotions?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that just means you're alive.
That's good.
That you're exploring a lot.
Yeah.
And you're not doing it without knowing that you're doing it. And that's all that's required. So all is well, yes?
Yes, all is well. So the physicality of our emotions we feel generally in our gut area, our thoughts we think with our brain in that area.
The brain usually is the focusing mechanism. Yes.
And the heart, then that's where we
pump your blood.
Pump
yes.
the blood. And is that where we feel love more in the heart area, or is that
that's in your gut too.
That's in the gut too. Oh, that's what
I love you with all my gut.
Okay, I think that's what I was looking for. It's yeah.
Enough?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello. I'm appreciating the perfect timing of this question.
Yes.
I have one prepared. I'll just remind myself.
Yes.
So I've noticed you've said before that our laws make criminals of everybody. And my question was...
Not all of you, just those who are the most alive of you.
Okay. And my question was, how best can we as individuals manage when there's a conflict between the established beliefs of others and how best we can kind of move forward with what we would like to do?
Well, it's all about focus. There's a bigger piece here, and that is, do you acknowledge that you're an extension of a non-physical aspect of yourself? And can you feel the cycle of life that is? In other words, you were non-physical, part of you became physical. The physical part of you is throwing things into a vortex that the non-physical part is joining. The non-physical part is inspiring. The physical part of you is picking up on it. In other words, can you feel the logical and natural connection between you and you? And can you feel the emotions which define how fully divided or fully connected you are at any point in time? So as you acknowledge the existence and as you consciously acknowledge the existence of this non-physical part of you, and you let that be your highest priority to align with and understand with and be inspired with, then things of a physical nature sort of take a back seat just a little bit. We're not encouraging you to be complete non-compliant, or we're not encouraging you to be uncooperative. What we are asking you to do is just prioritize where you get the majority of your guidance from. So if you will just put it into that way of thinking, I tune in and then, because when you align with who you are, you become a conscious cooperative component. Sometimes it sounds like if you are doing things in a way that feels good to you, that you are then defiant of others who are wanting to boss you around. What actually happens is that when you come into concert with your inner being, who understands everyone and everything, who knows where you stand in every moment in relationship to everything that you want, as you get good at following those impulses, you're not seen as a rebel. You're seen as someone who's in the right place at the right time over and over and over again. Others don't get in your way because you don't go where they are when they're there. You move smoothly through life experience. You're not bumbling and stumbling and fighting your way out of things. Instead, you're inspired. It's entirely different than most humans think it would be when they're in their rebellious mode of wanting to fight against people who are disagreeing with them or who are disagreeable. The more in alignment with who you are, the better you feel, the more refreshed you are, the more exhilarated you are, the more energy you have, the more replenished you are. And law of attraction matches you up with things that feel like that, you see. Laws are in place to prevent you from things, but your alignment is to open doors for you.
So can I ask a bigger question? In terms of society, when people want to change things and improve things, how best is it for us collectively to try and do that without bumping up against the resistance?
By understanding the laws of the universe, by understanding that if no one knew anything, and most of them don't, that it would be working out just fine, because the harder they push against something, the more they ask for its improvement. And so those that are the most defiant, and those that are most rebellious, and those are the most litigious, and those who are the most unhappy, and those who are the most pushing against the most things, are those who are adding to the vortex in the most. They are the predominant creators of the new and improved. And the reason that they're so agitated, that's why they're called agitators, is because they are holding themselves apart from the very thing that they've been asking for. So the way you deal with it is by understanding it, by not pushing against them because they're pushing against something.
So world peace is never going to be achieved, do you think?
Sameness will never be achieved, and everyone wanting the same thing in the world at the same time will never be achieved. And usually what people mean when they speak of world peace is that one idea will be floated that everyone will agree with, and then there will be no reason for discord. And we say, there is already no reason for discord, just don't look at things you don't like.
That's wonderful, thanks.
Really good.
Hello. I have had some experiences of great joy. I had one experience that I was in a supermarket and I felt like it was one of these experiences of joy where it just sort of bubbles up within me. And
were you appreciating the abundance of the produce?
Maybe. And then I felt like either Source was looking through me, or
yes,
I was looking through Source.
Same thing. You were seeing through the eyes of Source.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
That was the first and only time I've had that experience, where I sort of almost felt like vibrating around my eyes.
So let's talk about that just a little bit in terms of what we were talking about earlier, about people in the world living lives of struggle, those who are hungry, asking for more abundance. We were talking about the collective vortex. And so there you were in an environment where something that is being asked for, the ease and flow of that kind of abundance. And there you were, all tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and able to appreciate through the eyes of Source all that is there. There is no closer, keener sense of well-being than when you are surrounded by things that are sustaining in nature, you see. And so all of that food there serving its purpose for being, all of those people there to assist you in receiving that, we can see that that could be an environment even greater than a church for feeling the appreciation that Source is feeling about the abundance of well-being. And of course, if you could isolate what was going on in your experience more, you would realize the precision with which that was coming to you. It was not just Source's appreciation, although Source met you there, but it was you tuning to it for some particular reason.